I'm going to hit this hard and fast real quick because I want to go flying. Um, on the left here is suggested takeoff parameters from a viewer. On the right are my particular takeoff parameters I have been using. So in red here are mine that are different than the ones that were suggested to me. Now, they're using a takeoff altitude of 76. I've just got it at 50. They're using a takeoff distance of 200 meters. I've got that set to 50 because I just don't want it going that far. Had it done that yesterday, I would have been in a little bit of trouble because I took off from right here approximately. And if I had had it set to 200 meters and I had taken off in this direction, I would have flipped out because it would have gone all the way over to here before it started circling this point. This is up on a little hill with some higher trees. It's kind of over structures that I don't want to mess with those people. So that would have been a problem. Now, had I taken off in this direction, you can see 200 meters would have been fine in this direction. And that's the direction I was taking off in. Although the main problem is it would have kind of taken me by surprise when it's going out so far before it starts doing its takeoff loiter. So that's why I set that to 50, because if I take off, well, I'm just going to do a circle here of 50 meters. There we go. So there, no matter which direction I take off in, it's going to start its takeoff loiter here, 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 or here, much closer to the home point than that was set. So let's see, let's go back. So the altitude is a little lower. The distance from home before it starts circling, that it starts circling, is a little lower. And I'll play with that. So wasn't anything there that would have caused any problem. The rest of these parameters are all the same. Mine are all the same as recommended, except for these 4 down here in addition to these 2. So takeoff throttle max, they suggest 100. Mine is set to 0. And the reason for that is if it's set to 0, it goes back and uses this parameter right here, THR underscore max, instead of a value there, which is set to 100. So, in my opinion, novice opinion, this one doesn't really matter. I was actually set to 100. Now, we're looking at the mini Talon right now, not the nano Talon, and I will tell you that the THR underscore max for the nano Talon was set to 75. Still is. So that could have been a little bit of a problem on the takeoff. Now, this acceleration and speed, I don't know that that would have made a lot of difference. This is the suggested values by Ardu. Um, these would work just as well. Now, these are for ramping up the throttle after it's moving so it can get away from your hand on a pusher prop type deal. Uh, I'm not worried anymore at all about these 2 airplanes cutting my hand with the pusher prop. So I'm probably going to just set it where I throw it and it goes without regard to this. I'll have to go back and visit these again when I get ready to do the auto takeoff again. But I don't see that that would have made much difference. And then this takeoff throttle slew rate is just a way to ramp up the throttle slowly instead of just ramping it up all at once. Uh, I think what I will do in the future, I'll just set these to 0 so that basically I'm doing the same thing I'm doing with a hand launch right now. The only difference will be that it will go out, go to this altitude right here, this many meters away, and start circling. Other than that, it'll just be like a normal hand launch that I've been doing. And I'll revisit these when I come back from flying. And this slew rate, it doesn't bother me if it comes up to full power immediately, which I don't know if I'll be using full power or less than full power. But basically, I wasn't far off from these recommendations. I think it was just a bad throw, throttle being at 75% on the Nano Talon. But this is what I have seen. This is, again, this column is the recommended values for me from a viewer. This is what I did have, and the red ones are how I am different. I don't see that I was that far off. Ramping up the motor wouldn't matter. I just got it at full power. Or actually on the Nano Talon, it was 75% power. On the Mini Talon, this would be 100% because of it again, going back to this value right here, which on the Nano Talon is 75 instead of 100. And as far as these two figures, this is delay. This is actually the delay in time before it will start to throttle up if it sees these velocities. You know, I don't think I need any of them. I can set this to 0, this to 0, and this to 0, and I'll basically be doing a hand launch, and it will be uh, moving my elevators up to maintain a 15-degree up pitch during the flight out to 50 meters away, where it'll start circling at 50 meters above that point, which is 150 feet, 30 feet higher than my normal return to launch is set, but I don't care about that. So I will play with these again later, but I just want to make this little video. I don't think I was far off the mark yesterday. I'll go back and look at the videos and see. Maybe it was this 70%, this value right here being 75% on the Nano Talon that's a problem. And I'll just go in on the Nano Talon and set this on the Nano Talon to 100. I don't know if 75 is the default, but that is basically the values I was sent, the values that I was using, and the differences in them. And again, I don't see it's that much. I have never really had a problem hand launching these two platforms, except for the time that I just had it in manual mode and totally ignored. And I have a couple of times thrown it. I've only thrown it 7 times at this point, I think, the two of them combined. That my hand didn't go down to go up elevator. I took a nap a couple of times and noticed it was going down, and then in my brain went, "Oh, rats! I got to raise that up myself," and got down there in plenty of time and did up elevator, and off it went. In the last one, I didn't even shoot for a high altitude on the Nano Talon, just enough to get it up and start it turning without going very high because I'm getting more comfortable and more comfortable with this. So I'll revisit this again later, but I just wanted to make this little video so people sort of understood what I was doing, where I'm coming from, and where I may be going to. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to try to post this and get out of here for a flight. It's noon.